Hello, everybody, and welcome to Live and Let's Dice Live. They can see you, Beanie. They can see you, Report. They can see you right now. Welcome to Live and Let's Dice Live here on a Wednesday afternoon. Actually, no, it's not even Wednesday, is it? It's Monday, and that just shows how completely out of sync I am today because of the fact that, that's right, my friends, we are streaming here. The Monday Night War is live. But, as you can see, I'm not alone because good old Beanie Boy is joining me here as we're celebrating the fact that I'm about to go under the knife, clearly to have my hair reattached from my ass, and I'm going to be taking a bit. I'm going to be taking a bit of time off. So we thought we'd do a stream. We'd have a bit of chat about the new ORK rules, about what's going on in the hobby, and then we would start doing some painting. And I believe that Beanie is bringing a. What are you bringing to the table today, my friend?
I'm painting a war shaper today for my Croot.
Ooh, a war shaper. That sounds very nice indeed. Now, if the people at home could do us a favour and just let us know what's going on with the audio levels and things like that, we can mix and match, and it saves us a bit of time before we then get into the thick of it, or somebody then points out, oh, Jules, you've been using the robot voice for 20 minutes. That was funny when that happened to me in real life, wasn't it, Beanie?
Did you like have a filter that made you sound like a robot for that?
So I used voice mod, and I was just messing around with it, and I forgot to turn it off. So I started doing the stream, and it was still like, "Hello everybody, it's me, Jules," like that, and I was like, and no one said anything for about 20 minutes, and then it was all of a sudden like got like Jenko just being like, "Yeah, your robot voice is still on, mate." So everyone else was just thought it was just my voice, just thought that was completely fine and normal for me to do.
I love it, and I think you should do more of that. Do they have any really good ones, like a Patrick Stewart voice? I'd be really happy to be him for a while.
I tell you what, mate, they've got like AI now, just a program, that allows you to become. They do AI voices, so you actually speak, and it completely modulates your voice to sound like somebody else. You can sound like an old granny. You could sound like a middle-aged man. It's just crazy. Like the range. I've just listed two. So what a range!
We are middle-aged men.
Yeah, I know, right? You can sound like a different aged middle-aged man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's little options that you can do that, or you can sound, as I found out, like a space marine, and I definitely used that a lot when I was doing the Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas streams, because whenever he donned the power armor, Stone Cold Steve Scrungo, our player character, I put the voice on, and it was a really fun time because I probably I was role-playing as Stone Cold Steve Scrungo, but then I put the helmet on and I was role-playing as a space marine being played by somebody who doesn't know what space marines technically are. So he was just like, for the Emperor, yes brother, yes brother. He was like shooting everything. But then as soon as he took the helmet off, he was like, right, I just want to help everyone actually. Oh, hold on. This music is playing in my ears. I know that Beanie can't actually hear it at all, but that means that somebody has just become a member. Whoa, hello. Scott Gresham has just become a high roller.
Ooh.
Okay, mate.
Thank you. That's really kind of you.
So we got a bit of a badass in here. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? Scott, you absolute... Me? Only I may dance.
Yeah, I know. I was staying out in the dance.
Scott, you absolute legend. You didn't have to do that. That was lovely. You absolute legend. Been gone far too long. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. That was very, very kind of you. And a great way to kick off this stream. Because of the fact, as we were saying before, we're doing a nice, chill hobby painting stream. Beanie's going to be painting a trail shaper from the new Croot battle box. Which one is it? Sorry.
War shaper. He's like the captain of the Croot.
What's a trail? Is a trail shaper a thing? Or have I just made that up? Have I just given GW?
Yeah. So a trail shaper is the one that kind of like goes ahead of the pack, and he like picks targets, and he's the one that can allow you to redeploy.
Okay.
But yeah, man, they're so rigged and expanded now. My beautiful dino men.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're going to be painting that guy, and I will be painting a lovely. I'll move over to the other camera soon. A lovely little mech boy here. And the reason that I'm running, that I want to paint up a mech is because finally, the biggest of lads, the old Bantaroon himself, is finally useful. That's right. I will be able to take Beaky Breaker, the worst painted model that I now own because it was the first model I painted when I moved here from Wales, and there is a lot to be desired on this one here, and I will be definitely going over it. But he has been made. He is ready. The 800-point Stomper is now potentially good. And I say potentially. We both know this. There's a very good chance that he will whiff, suck, and then die. But right now, I'm seeing nothing but the potential.
I honestly think that with the fact there's a detachment that actually gives him some benefits, the big mech lets him get a +1 to hit, isn't it? Something like that?
Well, this is the thing. I'll go over quickly the combo that is already out in the wild, and then Beanie and I are going to quickly discuss a combo that not many people know about yet that could end up being one of the spiciest things in the ORK catalogue. Right, so to make a 800-point Stomper work, you're actually going to need 845 points, because, as the new codex showed us, the new mech, or the old mech here, still gets the ability, in fact, he's the only model who gets the ability to add +1 to all hit rolls for a vehicle that starts 3 inches within his little bubble at the beginning of your command phase. You basically point at it, and instead of saying awaken the machine spirit, you say, Orken the Mork Sheen Spirar. There's loads of puns there. You have a field day with that one.
Yeah, you just picked one that didn't make any sense. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's what I do, mate. So the green gubbins start flowing from him, and he all starts feeling fantastic. Now that brings your Orky shooting from a 5 down to a 4, which is great. But it gets even better if you put him into the Death Mob detachment, because that means that every time that you want to do a shooting action, every time you want to do a fighting action, you roll a dice and you apply the effect from a table. Or you can choose not to roll, and you can pick one of those things, but your weapons gain hazardous. Now, the options that are available for the shooting are sustained hits 1, which means exploding 6s when you hit. 6s to hit. Lethal hits, which means they automatically wound, and in a dice game where you don't have to roll dice, that's absolutely amazing. Or, on a 5 or a 6, you get AP2 extra on every shot or attack if you roll a critical wound, which is a 6. Now that is fantastic. So as a Stomper, you could just go, cool, I'm going to pick lethal hits or sustained hits, boom, 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 party in my room, or whatever the Venga Bus song was. Now, it gets even better though, because there's 2 strats that you can apply to it. One, which is when you're targeting a vehicle or a monster, you can add +1 to the wound roll, and if you choose to push it, which gives your weapons hazardous, it adds +1 to the damage roll. That's pretty good.
Oh,
if you add another stratagem on top of that one, then you can re-roll all of your hits when shooting.
And fish for 6s.
So that's the thing. You've then suddenly turned your once pretty useless giant mechanical gubbin over here into something that hits on 4s, re-rolling, potentially with lethal hits or sustained hits, and then barrels through with the wound roll because it's adding +1 to the wound anyway, so you mostly like the wounding on 2s or 3s at the very the most. AP is pretty considerable, AP2 across the board for most of the weapons, and the damage output is now +1. So you've got your super rockets that are D6 +1, your Death Cannon, which is D6 +1, 3d6 shots from the Death Cannon, by the way. So there is the potential for it to still suck when it comes to your shot rolling, but the amount of help that this one unit gets from those 2 stratagems and that mob is insane. And Crazy Doug, yes, it can still transport boys. It could even transport Gaz, but he takes up 18 spaces of it. So that means...
Yeah, I love that.
So you basically just like shove him straight up the battlefield and do that. Now, there are easy workarounds for this combo because of the fact that you could pop some smoke, you could be behind cover, and now all of a sudden you're -1 to hit again, and you're taking 1 off the AP roll. But still, the amount of DACA that you can throw out is pretty impressive regardless. And
you can't ignore it.
You can't ignore it. Yeah, it becomes the distraction Carnifex. Apart from it's not a distraction, it's just a Carnifex. It's a Carnifex. So basically, it's Carnifex cubed. It's 3 of them all rolled in. Quadra effects. Yeah, build effects. So basically, you've got that. Now that's the strat or the combination that most people are aware of by now, because they've already seen the rules that have been teased from GW. We had a quick look at the rules, the codex, that GW kindly sent over to us, and spotted that there's another potentially stinky combo that could be very, very fun. And what you need is 6 Mega Nobz, a big mech with a custom force field, and to be in a detachment that doesn't reward any of them by taking them in the Green Tide detachment. Now, the green tire detachment says all of your boys models, ones without the keyword of boys, they get a 5-up invulnerable save. That's great. And any orcs model, if it's got 10 or more models in that group, get to reroll a saving throw of 1. That's pretty good, and you might want to take a ton of boys to make the most of that. Makes sense. But put it on the Mega Nobz. They are an orc unit, so they still get benefit of the second one, although they can't take more than 6. So what you've got to do is put your big mech and give him a enhancement called the Raucous Warcaller, which means that any unit he's attached to counts as having 10 models, no matter how many models are in it. So suddenly you've got toughness 5 or 6, 3 wound models with a 2-up save, re-rolling 1s. And the custom force field provided by the big mech gives them a 4+ invulnerable save against ranged. And the other big mech ability is that you can pick up one of these models that dies every single command phase. So you suddenly have a blob that is so near impossible to kill, with invulnerable saves, re-rolls, and a decent toughness, and multiple wounds, and the ability to resurrect as well. But wait, Beanie, there's more! Because when the War is called, all of the Mega Nobz get a 4-up Feel No Pain.
Well, that's just gross.
So that means that for around 300 points or so, it is a big investment. At the same time here, woo, that's a good one. That is a good combo right there. I reckon that there's going to be some mad heads who take that, maybe 2 blobs, so 12 of them, double run them, puts them onto the mid-board objectives and just says, look, try and take me out.
I think that that's going to be addressed.
I reckon it will be FAQs. Yeah.
Hang on, we didn't mean to do that. Oopsie daisy.
Because weirdly enough, the Mega Nobz, they used to have their index ability was that they got devastating wounds when the War was called. Now I imagine that was changed because there's another detachment that lets you call the War twice, and having devastating wounds on big blobs like that, it's just going to go back to when the Eldar were just running rampant with that.
Well, devastating wounds suck.
They do. Let's just be honest with that.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But replacing that with a 4-up Feel No Pain probably felt like it was a fair trade-off. But when you put it into the combination that we've just listed, it goes crazy. That's just so much damage reduction for a unit that is, ironically, all about punching stuff really hard. They can take a fair few hits with that.
Well, and you could go to ground, give them the automatic -1 to AP for always being in cover.
Yep.
So even the higher AP weapons are going to need to be at least -3 before
to really
they're
do
actually
anything.
really causing major problems for your unit.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to facing that.
And wouldn't you know, I just happen to have 6 Mega Nobz.
Serious face.
I just happen to have 6 Mega Nobz ready to go.
Oh,
So,
well, fantastic.
yeah, well, I'll be painting some of them up on stream, but we will be doing that. Anyway, that is the ultimate stinky orc combo that we were just spotting and just musing about here. So, yeah, use that information as you will. Remember, use it wisely. If you are going to use it against your friends, make sure you tell them about it beforehand, because no one likes a gotcha. And also, make sure that they're the type that can take a bit of a drubbing and carry on without crying. Like, don't do this to the person that maybe shows up once a month for a single game. Bit harsh if you do that.
Yeah, I remember the first game I ever had with Rapid, and I happened to play the Devastator Centurion combo from 8th edition and deleted like his entire army.
Oh, bless you, brother. Bless you, brother.
I can't believe he ever came back for a game.
And now look at him, he's just there like, to be fair, he learned his ways from that because he took a rather spicy list of the King of the North one, didn't he? So he's what goes around comes around in the shape of a fist, like.
Yeah.
By the way, let's say hello to all the lovely people that have joined us here today. And some of them are saying some really nice things as well, just wishing me well for the surgery. I'll be fine, don't worry about it. Sean's in the chat. John is in the chat. Quoth's in the chat. What's up, everyone? Nerdy Goth says, Hola, have decided a break from work is more beneficial than staying. Might go back to it later. Yeah, that is absolutely fine. You chill out, my friend. Sean is saying, is the big egg getting his orcish brain removed? No, I'm actually getting more brain stuffed in, so then I can have double brain power. That's how it's good. One's going to work constantly on writing. The other's going to work on, I was going to say something useful, like trying to solve world hunger or something like that, but it's actually just going to be doing Warhammer lists. That's it. I won't use this power well. Still, that's what's happening. Yeah. What are we saying here? Oh, yeah, I'm donating my brain to science. That's what I'm doing, yeah. Lee's in the chat. Hello, sausages. Hello, my friend. Murphy's here as well. Good, not too late. Pixie Wolf's here. Oh, hello, my friend. Now, for fun at home, says Quoth, imagine all of these comments being read out by Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I can't do a good Jim Carrey impression, but I can imagine what it would sound like. Yay!
Noise.
Oh, Sean Schultz has donated as well, saying, how long is the egg going to be on the bench? Now, indeterminate, because I did my usual thing, which is I went to Beanie and his dad, who are both well-respected doctors in their own rights. Beanie's dad being an actual doctor and Beanie being a doctor of thugonomics, John Cena Academy. Word life, my friend. But I also went to Twitter for medical advice. That was interesting. I had people saying that I'd be out for 7 to 8 weeks, bedridden, and not be able to eat properly. And I was like, okay. And then other people being like, I was back to work in 3 to 4 days and I do a manual lifting job. And I was like, neither of those sound good. Like,
my dad has literally had the surgery you're having. And he was back up and running like within a week or so. So if you do worse than my father, who's in his 60s, then like I told you, I'm going to play blood bongo with your belly and pink belly until you get up.
Well, it's activating that strangely competitive streak that I have. So I will try and get better at least a day before him. but knowing my luck, I'll be out for even longer. Yeah, he's mega hard, to be fair.
Yeah, sorry.
We go, Lee. Oh yeah, Jenko's saying a big news in the Custodes Codex. I'm here for it. Indeed, we are too. It's a great day for all of the hobby. And if you don't like it, go suck an egg, and not this one here. Actually, no, do suck my egg. You know what I'm saying? Murphy. Oh yeah. Jenko's saying give Beanie a 25% boost, and it should be sweet. Oh, okay, fair enough. 25% boost on Beanie, then, is it?
Sorry, am I being too quiet?
No, I don't know how to. Weirdly, you smelly thing. I don't think that I can give him a boost. I've boosted him as much as I can.
Is that any better, or did I make it worse?
It sounds good to me, but the people at home will let us know if there is any changes that need to be made.
Okay.
Jules is a washed out egg by this light. I know, I thought that I'd fix the exposure for the camera, and it's kind of working and not working for me in this one, because I'm very, very illuminated sometimes, and not. DMB Lan is in the chat. How's it going, my friend? Good to see you. Lawson's in the stream as well. Beanie streamies. What's the camera angle, Jules? I come down standing out. So, I had to change the camera angle over here, because you're used to seeing it from the other perspective, looking outwards, where I do all of my actual recording. But because we're doing a painting stream, I need to switch over to this, and I need to move over to the painting table. So it just is what it is. You're just gonna have to deal with it on that one. Oh, Vernon's in the chat. Hello, mate. Whiff, suck, and die is the new mate, feed, kill, repeat. Fair enough. Lee, send over the photos over on the Discord. Hey, Sam, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you. X, how's it going? Don't worry, I'm here and lurking. Good to see you, my friend. To translate that combo. Oh, yeah, by the way, Sam did the maths on how much damage the stomper combo could do with all of the extra strats and the extra rerolls and stuff like that. Guess how many wounds it would do to a land raider?
40?
41 wounds to a land raider. That is rough, my friend. Rough.
However, because he did the maths, next time I see him, he's getting
nerd. Yeah, nerd.
Sorry, that it's how it goes. You can't show that you're intelligent like that.
Oh, Neil Adams has just popped in as well, saying, just popping in to send some love to you both and wish you best of luck with the op. Thank you so much. I got to the Carlac part in Baldur's Gate 3 yesterday. For the second time, I cried. Oh, Joey, mate, it's emotional, isn't it? First time watching painting streams, Jules read. I do read out super chats. I read out as many chats as I can. Hey, Boxy, how's it going? Popping in to say real quick, wish you the best of surgery. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. See you later. Lee is off. He's just chilling out for a bit. Yeah, Beanie, your dad is one of the lost Primarchs, says Lawson. I can live with that. I feel that's pretty good.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it would be disappointing to you if it turned out that he was Lehman Russ. You'd be like, my hatred for Space Wolves is counterbalanced by my love of my dad.
Has the sound on my mic changed? If anyone could tell me, because I just forced it to come through this.
Lawson is saying, Beanie, it sounds like you're coming through your headset. Oh, it doesn't sound like you're coming through your headset, and instead, a being picked up by an ambient mic.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. I just wanted to double check.
Okay.
If it sounds any different now, because I've just switched over to make sure that the speakers. Hang on. I'm.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, is that better?
That is a lot better, actually. Yeah, nice one.
There we are. I just hadn't actually told it that I had fancy schmancy headset, so now people should be able to hear me a lot more clearly.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. I love it. There's always tech issues here, and at least that was the most minor one. I can live with that. And thank you, Lawson, for pointing that out, by the way. Sunny's in the chat. How's it going? Good, my friend. Good. Thank you very much for asking. JRH is here. Good afternoon. Ollie says, love you, Jules. Hope everything goes well. Spud says hi again. Bless you. He's still a dog, but yeah. I appreciate that, Ollie. Thank you so much. Much better, says Quoth. Right. Now that we've got all the tech issues sorted out, now that the two idiots are working in tandem together and the single brain cell that they share is being rubbed together, let's move over to the painting stream section so we can see what we're painting and how we're going to go about it. So if I kill this camera, people should be able to see this.
It's not as techy for me. I'm literally just going over with my webcam, and I'm now going to hang it upside down on the back of a lamp.
Fair enough. Right, I'm just going to quickly go into the old settings and sort out the focus on this one, because I believe he's not...
Yeah, that kind of works.
Oh, weird. They've... Okay, let's get this one. Let's get this boy all nice and dapper. Ooh, right, is that out of focus now? That looks like it's in focus enough. Yeah. And we'll tell you what, we'll do some just like that, and then
it feels backwards. It is backwards.
So now you should be able to. Oh, how is it? I've just applied the camera control, and you're saying it's still out of focus. What are you doing to me?
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of focus out of me because I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah.
I may have to close the blind very quickly because it feels like. Yeah, it's getting washed out too much. Right, 2 seconds. I'm going to sort that out. Goodbye, natural light. It was nice knowing you.
Yeah, I went out for a quick power walk before we did this because I realised I've been sat at my desk doing work all day and actually hadn't really seen the sun.
Fair
and
enough.
Such a rarity in Wales at the moment.
I know, you've got to make the most of it as you can. Okay, right, so... people should be able to see that. People should be able to see if I can get any more fidelity out of this bad boy.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I did give myself a whole 3 minutes to look into it before we started the stream. So
cool. Right. So this is what I'm painting up today. My little orky mech boy. I went over and just did a little base coat on the skin because I just doing skin for orcs 24/7 nowadays. It's just how I live my life, brothers. So I might as well just get it done when I can, eh? Right. Let's move this along. He's in shot. Perfect. Right then. Yeah, Sam, the bully boys and the dread mob are looking very solid. And the bully boys as well are just comical because it's just like, let's get all of the knobs, let's get all of the big beef boys right here and just have a good old time. The last time that we did the stream, by the way, we painted up some orky orcs. This one was for X. Got some bits done there. And then this one was for Kamikaze. And we will carry on with those after the surgery because I want to paint a knob a week. That's the plan.
He's filthy man.
I am indeed. Right, so the question is, what colours are you doing with your guy? What are you starting with, mate?
So, to start with, I'm finishing off a little bit of the dry brushing to get the highlights of the white over the edges.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm going to go into using one of my new favourite paints, which is called Gilly Dew by Army Painter.
Yeah.
It is absolutely fantastic. I know the light is a bit off there, but this is one of the best paints I've bought in a very long time. It just gives you orc skin kind of green, but more luminous.
Oh, fantastic.
So I've been using that for my Croot since getting them.
Banging.
And it is so nice to paint Croot. They're just as light. I imagine it's the same as painting the orcs.
I have had such a fun time painting the orcs. It's unreal, my friend. It's just been lovely to find a faction that's always enjoyable to paint because the model variety is so much better than it is for like Space Marines and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't face power armor.
I feel like we've done it too much, man. Too much. The first question that I've got for you, Beanie. I'm going to use a contrast on his trousers. Luxian purple or Azurman blue?
Azurman blue, because I don't like purple on orcs.
Fair enough, my friend, because you believe that they shouldn't be seen.
Well, exactly. It's in the law. It's all there for the taking. And you know, I know at the moment shoehorning things in is the name of the day, but sometimes we've got to stick to the law.
By law. Okay, right. So I'm going to paint his trousers a lovely Azurman blue, just because I feel like he's the type of guy who would wear blue trousers.
Yeah, you could do a little bit of a denim effect on it. Make him look hip.
Hip and cool, so that all
Just
the
like us.
squigs around him are just like, oh my god, he's so cool.
That's right. Everybody's going to want to date him.
Make love to me, Randy.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. It's one of the best.
So dumb, isn't it? It's so mad that this feels so foreign to me. I always paint using Gore Grunter fur for the trousers, and then turn them into sort of like leather pants style thing. And so painting this blue one is just kind of like, my brain.
Gore Grunter's fur is absolutely delicious. In fairness, it's
Oh.
one of the nicest of the contrast range, just for effective, and it works really well for wood as well.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it is quite crazy how much difference some of the contrast paints are to one another. Like, some of them are absolutely stunning, and others are poo-poo pancakes.
Well, I know that you're not a big fan of snakebite leather, but I think it's genuinely brilliant, especially if you do like an undercoloring beforehand. Yeah. I think it lends itself well for that.
Oh man, I feel like this model may have got one of those sneaky things on him where it would have been better to do sub-assembly painting, you know?
Well, there's loads of models like that, but I am too lazy for sub-assembly painting, and I will just mash them. Ooh, I see Lawson has asked me to talk him out of playing the Votan. I can't do that. Everybody should play the Space Dwarfs. They are super cool. I cannot wait for the range to extend. They've been one of my favourite armies through all of 10th edition to play as, because they derive so much salt out of people. People get so grumpy when I play them.
It's weird. It's unnatural, the level of hatred that they've had towards them, because they are far from the new kids on the block, or here's a broken strat thing that they had for a short time. It's now, they are very well balanced, I would say.
Yep, I would agree. I'm just quite good at playing them, and that's why I beat people.
You've played them a lot, and it's the case of because the range is so small, it's like a good and bad thing. Like, you've been able to master what you have.
Yeah, like you can make them super duper gamey. You just need to just run all Hearthguard and nothing but, and that's it. That seems to be the only way you could really actually achieve what you want out of them. But
that does not sound fun though.
More.
Like,
no, well, I never play that way. So
whenever it comes down to you just need to run 20 of this one particular model, I'm just like, nah, I'm okay. Oh, we just had a donation, by the way, from DMB Lan, saying, Jules, have you ever played War Machine or Hordes? Also, what kind of paint removal would you recommend for these kinds of figures? See, I 100% recommend Biostrip. It's the best at getting rid of all of your unsightly painting. Well, this, for example, was coated in like 3 layers of somebody else's thick paint. And so I just chucked it into Biostrip for about 20 minutes. Got a toothbrush, scraped it all off, and he was as good as new. And the
good tip: use an electric toothbrush on the lowest setting. If, say, like you got an old electric toothbrush head, and that just absolutely takes the paint off.
Ah, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I did it for that Land Raider that I lent to you. Do the people know? know that you've got that on the back burner at the moment?
They don't know, actually, but we can tell them. It's our friend Gareth Burke is painting up, as we speak, a ton of Black Templars for me to use in the future. And that's going to be a very fun army to run.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. They're one of the coolest. Anything that looks like a Crusader, like knightly kind of order feel, is always sweet. And for my painting thing that he's doing for me, he's doing an Eldar army, and soon he's going to be doing a Custodes army for me, because I finally accepted I am too slow a painter to have all these projects on. So,
what's funny is that you are getting Custodes at their what is arguably one of their lowest points when it comes to in-game rules, because people are not happy about that codex. But I was saying this the other day to Rapid. You've got these guys who are functionally one of the most boring armies that you can have in a dice game, because they are the best of the best. They hit on twos, they wound on twos, and that's just like how they are. But the thing is, like, in order to get them feeling spicy, to give them difference, you have to make them worse. And I know that sounds totally counterproductive, but it means that you're not just running the 5 same models over and over again. And at least this codex is making people think about the type of armies that they have to bring. And let's face it, they're still going to do very well. They're still bloody hard nuts that hit like anything and are great across the board for most things.
Well, kind of, yes. I kind of agree with you, and I don't. So the big problem with the Custodes Codex is the fact that they've decided to give an entire detachment to the Sisters of Silence, who currently have 4 things you can run. You've got your prosecutors with the bolters, who are basically just toughness. They're basically Sisters of Battle, hitting on 3s with regular bolters.
Yeah.
And they can deal with a bit of psychic stuff. They kind of cause a bit of problem to psychers. Considering this is not the addition of psychers.
No, that is long gone, isn't it? Bloody hell! Do you remember like it was all about the psychic phase in 9th edition? Cool.
Yeah, and it was great. Like, as a Thousand Suns player, I enjoyed the psychic phase, but now it's like, oh, my psychic phase is a gun. Ooh. And it's just not cool or fun, if I'm honest.
Excuse me, gentlemen, do you mind if I shoot you with my psychic?
Yeah, and it just feels like that. And they've, on top of that, they've got the Witch Seekers with the Flamers, and then they've got the ones with the Executioner Great Blades. But it's like, why would you run a squad with damage 2 weapons at strength 5 when the standard weapon of the Custodians is strength 7 minus 2 damage?
Yes.
It's like, it's putting a hat on a hat, and the second hat is a terrible hat that might have a bit of poo on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're not going to be Johnny Two Hats, you're going to be Mr. Poo Hat.
But
it's not a look.
But didn't they do the same kind of with the Croot? They basically were like, here's a ton of new models, here's a load of new focus on the Croot, but the actual Croot detachment ain't that great, and the points kind of force you.
No. It's actually the opposite to what they did with the Croot.
Is it? Okay, apologies.
So with the Croot, they actually padded out the range and the detachment. Okay, it's not going to be the most competitive thing in the world, but they've at least got something that fills in every single aspect. Like, the only thing that you would really want to add to it is maybe something that's a bit heavy hitting, so just have some broadsides or something like that from your Tau boy backing them up. But in terms of like what they can do on the table, they can get to the midboard quickly. They'll get a 5-up invulnerable to ranged attack.
That's not bad.
Every single Croot model has a -1 to hit because they're all stealthy.
Oh, really? What? Like, even the basic boys?
Yep. They're all stealthy. They're all infiltrators. You can just get up the board, do the work, and you can take that mid-board. Get yourself a bit of the battlesuit backing to do the big punch. And I actually think you've got quite a workable little force there. And I did the maths the other day. I've got, I think, about 860 points worth of Croot.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm going to be trying to run a nearly entirely Croot list as soon as I can.
That'd be so much fun.
Currently on my desk, I have 23 unpainted Croot models and 2 painted Croot models. So, yeah.
I was about to say, this is making me think of your Imperial Guard army.
Yeah. The big difference is I actually like painting these, unlike the Imperial Guard, which just hurt my soul.
Oh, you were resenting it so much towards the end. You were like, I know that if I paint these last 10 models, I have 1,000 points pretty much on the nose. Let's do it. Let's go. And it was just like 2 minutes later, I hate this. Can I stop now?
Yeah, well, well, look how well I've done with them so far. I don't think I've come close to a win with them.
Now,
Except I did play a game against Rapid off camera where I played against his Gene Stealers, and because he had never played the Gene Stealers before, I kind of just won because he didn't know all the tricks, and that was it. I didn't. It wasn't a good feeling victory. It was just a victory that I had.
No, I get you. Sometimes those ones you're like, okay, cool, I've chalked this one up, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely one of those. And well, anyway, back to the Custodians. They've totally nerfed their what was their shield host. It used to have the incredible defensive ability that allowed them to be able to be that hyper elite army, the army that could stick on the table, do the work. But now it's like, oh, you're extra aggressive and can do this. It's like, brilliant. We were already, as you were saying earlier, the perfect murder machines. So they didn't need that. They just needed something that stopped them getting absolutely obliterated by the super fun and interactive devastating wounds.
I'm surprised. They do have a mortal wound shrug, though, don't they?
Not built in. Not anymore.
Wait, it's not built in?
No. That
is surprising.
That's what the shield host was.
Ah, right, okay.
So taking that away from them is just like, brilliant. So you wanted this immovable brick of an army who now are hyper aggressive instead of like durable. And considering you only have 3-man to 6-man squads max, you really needed that little bit of durability.
Yeah, no, I can see actually now that you've said that where the shortcomings are really starting to hit home.
They shit the bed with that one, in my opinion.
But they've had a bit of a weird run, GW, with the codexes for 10th edition so far. Like, Space Marines came out and thankfully changed Oath of Moment, in my opinion, for the better, because I didn't like just the whole re-roll everything all the time, because it just didn't feel very interactive for your opponent. Then the Eldar came out, and god damn, the fact that they've had 3 nerfings and they're still kind of near the top is just like ugh.
Well, they're in that beautiful position now where they're. I think when I saw the stats, it was like the 49 to 51% win rate, and it's like you are now balanced. It only took a year.
Yeah.
But you done did it, GW. Congrats.
But I never thought that I'd be saying that the ORK codex was like one of the strongest coming out of 10th. I just didn't have any money on it because when they announced that it was going to be just one new big mech was teased, I was like, oh, here we go again. We're just going to kind of just get one model, sort of like squirted out codex, and that'll be it. Like, we're done, sort of thing. But it's turning out to be just so much fun. Like, every single time I go back to it, I'm like, I have enough models to run every single detachment. They are not painted, but I will be able to get them there, and I am very excited to do so. And like, even if it's just a one and done thing, like we tried the stomper thing and it's like, oh, that was fun, and I never use it again. I've used it 100% more than I did in 9th edition.
Yeah, well, we've only ever used the stomper once, haven't we? And if I remember rightly, I was playing Tau or something, and I just looked at it and went, see ya.
It did so badly, because I remember it was a like a 6-inch re-rollable charge or something like that, and I still failed it, and I was like, oh no. Oh no. And then when it finally did get into combat, I think you had knocked it down to one of its brackets, so it was hitting on like 4s instead of 3s, and then that made a huge difference in combat. So I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see some of these models that they have made poo-poo pancakes for a very, very long time actually worth playing, because, well, you guys deserve it. It's the silliest model going. And, well, I say that, there's probably quite a bit of strong competition for what counts as the silliest model, but...
Yeah, true, because there have been derpy models and then silly models. I mean, I think that my favourite silly model would be the big mech with the shock attack gun, just firing out screaming Gretchen through the warp into other people's faces that then explode from the inside out. It's just like, yeah, that is utterly mad, and I'm totally here for it.
Well, you know, in, I think it was 2nd or 3rd edition, that you actually had to take grots with him to feed in as ammunition. You didn't just get to shoot it.
That is amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that just makes it infinitely cooler, doesn't it?
Also in the chat, Chad's popped in and said hi. Thank you very much, my friend. And DMB Land says, I like the game myself, but I've been a long time since I've played it. Lol, I miss the Cador, my beloved space commies. I believe that they're talking about War Machine. Or Hordes. I'm never ever let it be said that I'm not interested in playing these games. I would gladly give them a try, but it's just a case of space, time, and budget. We are so packed to the gills with Warhammer at the moment between me and Beanie. It's like Beanie has his own house that has dedicated Warhammer space, and it's already looking a bit chunky full.
Yeah, however, on that, I've oiled up all the shelves now. They're all ready to go up. All I got to do is a little bit of painting on the walls, and I will soon have 4 to 5 massive shelves for all of my Warhammer goodness.
The sacred oils have been applied.
That's right, Danish oil. If anyone else has done any woodwork, that is the absolute key to making it perfect. And the whole house now smells delicious.
Those Danes don't mess around when it comes to oils.
No, they don't. It is truly lush. My house is lush right now for that.
Okay, how are you getting on with your model? Which bits are you painting?
So right now, I have done all my dry brushing, and I am working on the green of his face.
Ooh, very nice.
So I can't... Well, it's pretty hard for me to get it in focus because of the way that my lamp is set up.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, but yeah, sorry guys, it's all a bit blurry. But yeah, he currently has a green face. And then once that's dried, I will do a dry brush with some the icy kind of lemon.
Oh, I love that colour. Yeah.
Yeah, the from Vallejo ice lemon.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Just such a good paint.
At the moment, I'm doing. Sorry.
No, my house does not smell of Danish pastries, Lawson. Sadly, it smells mainly of wood, and not the sexy kind.
Oh yeah. It's like, what's that smell? It's so familiar. Oh, it's dick. Oh yeah.
I can't believe they bottled this.
Yeah. Oh, the dick.
Yes, that's not the case, but yes, it's going to be great. They'll be up this week, so it should start making a big difference to my whole storage situation.
Oh, I see, mate. You get your bloody shelves up just the moment I go off for surgery. I see how it is. He's writing me out of the continuity, replaced by shelves.
That's right. I'm just gonna put a ball cap on part of the shelves and just have them talk.
What do you think, Shelf Jules? Nothing. That's what you think.
Yeah, you do what I say now. I'm in charge.
What colour should we do his fantastic apron? He's got his little like blue denim trousers now. I'm doing a bit of the metallics. I've still got some to do, like the copper and goldy version bits of it. But I need a colour scheme for his apron, and I need one for his wrench as well. Like, my brain is telling me that a red wrench, like from BioShock, would be the one to do. But I'm open to suggestions because I did buy another new contrast paint, Doomfire Magenta, and it is quite potent, to say the least.
Yeah, I've seen that. So if I was doing a apron, I would start with a grey, and then I'd want it to be horribly blood splattered or something.
Oh, you go like sort of like traditional. You wouldn't go like zany colours like yellow or something like
that. No. Well, at the end of the day, but that is hot though. That magenta. Sorry, just.
Oh, you just caught up on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, because you can't see what I see apart from the previous. You're like 20 seconds behind.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, I'm doing my usual favourite, giving him little black booties.
Nice. Why not? I'm currently painting the back of someone's knees.
Ooh, Spice Sneeze.
That's right. I don't know if you remember the Flash cartoon Blode and the Giant Bee, and he would.
I do not.
He would look after his bee by rubbing cheese into his knees.
Amazing. That screams of early internet. That does.
It does, and it still makes me laugh even today. Rathergood.com. I'll still go back to it every now and again, just if I need to have a little chuckle from my past. Blode and the Giant Bee, and the Giant Pea as well, which was a pea that came from outer space, who wants to wipe out the human race.
Amazing.
And he's really into eating people's chins. It was a good time to be on the internet.
It was a more innocent time, wasn't it? Just full of carefree fancy. and weird internet humor stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they had one on there which was basically just the Knight Rider theme song with lots of pictures of Knight Rider the car just twirling around. But you always felt like something was going to happen, and it wasn't until about half an hour into watching it going, hang on, this has just been on a loop, hasn't it? I got completely screwed over by it. Good old... Oh, I'm showing my age now.
I know, kids today would be like, wait, you spent more than 10 seconds on a video? What?
Yeah, well, downloading a song.
Oh God, they wouldn't even know, mate. They wouldn't even know.
Yeah, and then realizing that it's actually a horrible virus or something horrible.
You've just downloaded to the family computer. Yeah, Dad. They said that like I needed to be responsible. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for my entire childhood, my dad blamed me for every single computer problem that happened, but it was actually me that was the one that would fix the problems, and it was mainly my brothers that caused them. So it wasn't fair. I got maligned unfairly. I was the one who had to fix the problems.
Oh, God. Right, I'm going to go and use the Doomfire Magenta. The audience is saying like leathery brown for the cape, for the apron, and I will abide. But I am going to use Doomfire Magenta for his weird snazzy gun, I think.
Sorry, have you seen Lawson's Linkin Park unreleased album?
Not virus. Yeah.
The viruses.
Hook, line, sinker.
Yeah. I do not miss LimeWire and Kazaa.
Oh, a bear share as well, man. That was the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember that as well. Oh, wow.
See, now, Lawson must be getting very excited at this point because, Bean, when the stream catches up, you can look at the amazing pink that this is tinged his gun with.
You know that Lawson doesn't like the colour pink.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. He's very subtle with his colour schemes. He likes drab, boring colours.
He's never once mentioned an enjoyment of the colour pink, or painted an army pink.
Or even, like, recommended a good white to people. I'll tell you that much. There's one thing I think of when I think of Lawson, it's not recommending a paint enough.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't like the pro acrylic titanium white.
That's nice.
Ooh.
It looks much more pink in real life than the washed out effect of the lights doing to it. But yeah, that's a nice baby pink-ish. I like it. Oh, that's a question. What should I do? His little like mech spanner at the back. Now the original model has a white spanner with black and white checkerboard on it. Should I try and do that?
Yeah, I think you should, and checkerboard will definitely go well.
Yeah.
Did my sincerity come through then?
Yeah. Doug's just chimed in, just saying like, I like boring colours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you like boring colours done excessively well. That's your thing. It's like your the Death Watch army that he's got is just insane. The level of detail.
Got it no more.
Well, keep it a secret, Pete. Keep it a secret. Yeah, there may or may not be a little cameo from one of Doug's armies on the channel soon, and it's worth it.
But it's all the shame. Yeah, it's all the shame.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. I went there thinking like I was pretty jazzed about painting up the new Scragbad model. I was like, yep, cool, finally painted it. Feel really happy with it. Put a lot of extra work into it, and then it was just like saw them next to it, and I was like, well, cool. I'm just gonna grab a hammer and start smashing the piss out of this.
Yeah, so it's kind of how I feel every time I see his painting. Luckily, he's doing me a solid at the moment and painting up a bunch of models for me. So soon I'm gonna have a very, very sexy looking army.
Lawson says this anti-pink slander will not go unpunished, and I'm genuinely worried now.
I know. We can't take him.
No.
Yeah, I surrender immediately.
Yeah, like all three of us combined wouldn't do a good job. Mikey would gas out in the first 10 to 15 seconds. Then it would be like me because I just don't like violence. You'd give it a fair good go. I reckon that you would have a good old wrestle to the ground.
Oh yeah, no. I'd give it the old college try. Just whether it goes well is another matter entirely.
I just know that Lawson is a biter, so that's the thing.
Well, why not, innit?
Yeah.
Go straight for it. Yeah, and I'm a nard puncher. I'm gonna shatter some nards on my way out.
I mean, honestly, like, if you are in a fight and it's like a life or death situation, honor can go out the window, man. I'm literally fighting for survival. I'll punch, I'll claw, I'll scream in your ear just to disorient you.
Did you used to watch the Baz Rutten combat training videos on YouTube? And his advice that started every single one of them is just to punch them immediately in the balls and then start poking out their eyes. And it's like,
oh bloody hell,
Baz.
that's crazy.
And Baz Rutten is a classic champion fighter. Like, he was the king of Pancrase tournament and things like that. And his advice is do that. And then he also said play the game hide the Tabasco sauce with them.
Oh my god.
And where do you think you have to hide the Tabasco sauce, Jules?
I'm assuming it's nowhere pleasant.
It's nature's pocket.
Oh no.
That's right. That was his solution to all of life's problems. I love Baz Rutten.
DMB has just written in saying, from what I know of Warhammer lore, what could be more demoralizing to the enemy being beaten by an orc army all in pink? I would say just being beaten by an orc army in general. I mean, they are widely considered to be so utterly useless by many races. They're just like, oh, they're so disorganized. Like, they're strong, but they fall apart at the seams. Being beaten by them is just like, oh, Christ. Never going to live this down.
Yeah, unless you're face to face with them, and then you go, "Oh, actually, these guys are pretty tasty."
Oh, and also they are not good to their slaves that they capture afterwards.
Oh no, I was hearing about a short story where they had clearly taken all of the humans' teeth and hair, and when the lights come on, that was when it was feeding time, and there's basically just all these people just staring into the space and just opening their mouths to be fed, knowing that they're just it was so dark when I read it. I was like, oh, thanks GW, thank you for the haunting nightmares you've just given me.
Like, they do not mess around when they say that they created a grim, dark fantasy. There is next to zero fun going on in the 41st millennium.
Yeah, no, it's like you got to make your own fun, and normally that involves someone else's suffering.
Yeah. Even the Paradise Worlds sound like they absolutely suck.
Yeah, well, it's one of the imperial propaganda things that they'll say, come and work on an agri-world, you'll get fresh air, and it'll be really, really nice. And it's like, haha, no, it's like Manufactorum, but outside we can get eaten by bees.
Yeah.
And nobody needs that, getting eaten by bees.
You can see why so many people turn to actually joining up to the Guard, can't you? Because they're just like, actually, there is a chance that I would actually maybe not live very well, but I'd potentially live okay.
Well, it's the same as why people join the cults. The Chaos cults. It's
they're
like,
just
why
slightly
would you do
better.
that? Because, it's slightly better than your toil. So, there's how... the Imperium really, really needs to sort out its PR department before trying to recruit, if I'm honest.
What is quite funny is that, like, the ideals and goals set down by, say, like, Gilliman, they are all good. Like on paper. Oh, somebody's just donated. Oh, Vernon's just donated $5 saying, good luck with the surgery, brother. We'll be pulling for you. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Imagined. You got to, like, look into the horrendous amount of corruption that's going on as well within all of the megaseas and stuff. Because...
Well, no, absolutely.
It's like, cool, Gilliman said we should do this. Yeah, but he's about 1,000 light years away from me, so pretty sure I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do.
Well, the Ecclesiarchy don't really give two shits about what Gilliman has to say. Because remember, he came from a time where it was absolute heresy to even mention the idea that the Emperor was a god. You know, like saying that was basically a death sentence, and that's why Lorgar and his pals got in so much trouble during the Great Crusade. And then he comes back to this bloated world of no development, no thinking, no anything, and basically my dad's a god all of a sudden. It's like, no, my dad's a corpse.
Yeah, like, guys, what's happened here?
Yeah, and he spent a lot of his time arguing with them about this until he came to the conclusion, basically, I can't stop this. This is bigger than even me, and I'm like 12 foot tall.
Yeah, plus he kind of needs every hand on deck at the moment. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, we'll put this on the back burner for another 1,000 years, and maybe we'll have a chat about it if we can push Chaos back into the brink a bit further.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen because Abaddon's got plot armor.
Yeah.
And everyone else get involved. Although I think by about maybe 12th edition, they will be no Citrix Maledictum. I think the Necrons will be the anti-heroes, is what I'm feeling is going to happen in the lore. And they'll rebuild the pylons that seal away the Eye of Terror back to being simply the Eye of Terror and not Gork's Maw, as I think the orcs call it.
Yeah. It would be very interesting to see how they decide to adapt the in-game like models to reflect what's going on in the lore. Like, to have them just be like, look, okay, we need to move something on. Some of these units are going to have to get axed. New units are going to come in, because they're kind of doing it with this new Age of Sigmar release, aren't they? They're doing like, look, the old models are perfectly fine, but we want to move things along, and to do that, we're going to need to cull some of the old models.
Yeah, so I think they'll do that with the Marines soon, and I think now that there's female custodians, I don't think there's going to be very long until they start looking at female Marines in general. So I think that's going to push things along a fair bit. I think everyone who's cool with the idea, what they want to see is shield maidens for the Space Wolves, because that's so thematically perfect with the whole space Viking furries. It would just add up beautifully for that. I just hope they handle it with a bit of tact and grace, because I feel like they didn't do that with the Custodian one. They just kind of said, nope, they've always been there, just accept it. It's like, hang on, I have read nearly 70 books about the 30k universe, and there was never a mention of them. I think they could have handled it better than they did. Not that I'm against it, just the shoehorning kind of...
Well, it's the case of... I think if you say they've always been here, that's like a bit weird, but if you go, okay, it's a new thing, and we're moving in this direction like they did with the Primaris, absolutely fine. But the thing is that I'm so much less fussed on the lore side of it. So even if they did do that, it wouldn't impact my enjoyment of the game in the slightest. Like, I know it would annoy a lot of people, but I'm just like, stuff like this changes all the time. And and the Black Library has always maintained that stance of everything is true until we say it's not true.
Yeah, for me, the thing that would annoy me is if they said there have always been female Marines, because the entire Heresy series is about Space Marines.
Yeah.
So, and just to say, and there was not a single notable female Space Marine in 70 books, would just be a bit of a, oh, well, that's a bit lame. Whereas, and I know I've shared it with you, what I want to see them do is basically have Call mention. I think the Emperor was a bit of a clown for not using nearly 50% of the population as his warriors. So I, as the brilliant scientist, have decided this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a really interesting way to do it, because... And then on the flip side, you got Fabius Bile, who's already made mention of the fact that he thinks the Emperor was a fool for not picking to use women in the creation of the Marines. It's like, it kind of like would tie it up in a nice little bow, allow it to happen, and in an organic way that the story would still work, without having to basically say, oh yeah, we also now need to retcon the heresy.
Yes. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
I just think that would be a way that you would do the service to the, the diehard lore fans and allow it to develop, and there'll be a really cool kind of like new range of Space Marines and stuff that aren't just how many guns can we stick on this, kind of like the Desolation Squad. It would actually be like, well, this is a whole new armor set, and like they've got a whole new aspect of lore that would be like really cool to explore. I
did find that so funny when the Desolation Squad was like the thing to hate Warhammer for.
Yeah, it's like, how many guns can we glue on this man? Like, if it'd been like a, what are they called? Gravis armor, I think it would have worked better, but instead, it just looks so silly.
Well, the Gravis armor seems like it's actually made to carry the amount of, like, firepower.
Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's almost like they almost did something smart, and then they went, nah, let's just chuck it on this guy and make it look like he's carrying a Nerf gun.
I wish they'd almost leaned harder into it and just like added it in, because it was on the verge of being comical but wasn't quite there, and I was like, oh, come on, go even further, add in more guns.
Yeah, like just have him coming off his elbows and things like that. Although I'm surprised there hasn't been any models like an assassin that has, like, I don't know if you remember the anime bio-boosted Guyver, who was basically had blades coming out of his elbows and used to just slice people in half, and it was really cool. It's like I'm just always surprised we don't see more of that. Like, give it a proper assassin.
I feel like that there is still so many aspects of Warhammer 40k that are still to be explored. And when you even just sit and think about it for 5-10 minutes, you can just think the model ranges kind of just explode off the page, don't they?
Yeah, well, I think that's always a good topic of conversation of, like, what is the model you actually want to see come out next? And for me, it's Votan. I want to see a big giant siege drill, mining kind of thing. One arm's a giant melty thing for melting walls, and then a claw for crushing rocks and faces.
I would love to see their take on the what's it called, Terrax pattern siege drill.
Yes,
I would love to see what they would do with that. Yeah,
well, did you see? Is it on what's called the tiny game that isn't called Epic anymore?
Imperialis.
Yeah, aren't they bringing them out at some point as tiny ones, and they just look so cute?
Yeah, and somebody immediately was like, "Oh, what you should do is cut these models in half, and then have them drilling in and out, and you've just doubled the box's value." And I was like, "That is actually brilliant."
Yeah, that guy is a freaking genius. Actually, fair play.
So many. I love the fact in the actual Imperialis rule box, it says, now there's nothing to say that you can't use just one model per base stand and call it like an entire infantry squad or whatever, but the theme or the feel of the game would be off if you did that. And I'm like, yeah, but you know that loads of people are going to do exactly what you just said there.
Well, yeah, it's just cheaper because it's not a cheap game, and they've released so many units.
Yeah, and they have not released them very quickly.
Yeah. Have you even got to have a game of it yet?
Yeah, I played a demo game with Chris a while back, and it was amazing fun, but it's a case of there have been many other priorities that have taken over, and I know that the boys are still collecting furiously in dribs and drabs, and I actually have painted up a considerable amount of them, enough to run like the 3,000 point game that they say is the minimum. It's crazy.
3,000 points should never ever be a minimum of anything. That's too many points.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And the fact that they made that sweeping statement before then retroactively adding in proper rules for the knight households and stuff meant that they genuinely expected you to bring like all of it from the current Imperialis range.
Oh god. Yeah, like I wonder how well it's done for them money-wise. I would be curious to see like if it's working at the moment, because I haven't seen a lot of people playing it like on YouTube channel.
No, it's
not hearing about tournaments or anything, to be honest.
It hasn't really set the world on fire like Kill Team did. But there's still time, obviously. I think that many people are just waiting for the full range to come out, because they're doing theoretical army building and list building with models that have been announced but haven't actually been made available yet.
Oh, that's
like it was only a couple of weeks ago that the Corvus airlifters, what are they called? The little plane things. They only became available, so you couldn't actually engage in any sort of aerial transport with your troops for a fair old while.
No. That's a bit of a feel bad. Oh.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay, so I'm switching over to painting some leather at the moment for his for what I assume is a garter, because it really looks like a garter on his leg. Saucy little mare.
I am at the moment just doing some sort of very quick and easy checkerboarding for my my spanner. I've gone for yellow and black.
Did you say easy?
Well, I realised that with orcs, it doesn't necessarily matter if they're a bit wonky. So he's got the drawing skills of a toddler, and it kind of shows. And I'm totally fine with that.
That's a great logic to go with. So yeah, fill your boots, but
because he's going to be more focused on how his giant mechanical pals are doing rather than his little checkerboard design. You can see it on the preview now. See from a distance. Are you ever even going to question that? Probably not. And I'll go in and add.
That's just me being a dick.
And I'll go in and add some highlights into it as well, just so that it can stand out a little bit. But as it stands, it's doing exactly what it needs to.
Good.
Red Bad Andy asks, are you going to get the new Orc Battle Force with the new Big Mech and the Stomper? Be cool. Now, I don't need to get the Stomper because he's already here in part form. So hello, mate. How's it going? I've got the Burner Boys. I've got a truck. I've got the looters. But the new Big Mech model is the only reason I would buy that Battle Force. And to be honest, the rules for him, they ain't that great. He's that ability to move through units is pretty spicy, don't get me wrong. But it's got the weird proviso of being it's only a normal move, fallback move, and one other one. Can't remember what it is. It's not. I think it is an advanced move, but it's not a charge move. And it immediately just like took away some of the versatility of it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't really want to get this guy who's pretty rubbish in combat into combat, so yeah.
Is he so you can wraith through things?
Yes, he can move through. I think it is like a normal move, but not an advanced move. So it meant that it's still only going to be 6 inches, and obviously you can't have models split by a piece of terrain if it's like a certain thickness. So you're like, well, unless they're right next to the piece of terrain to begin with, it's not actually going to be that good.
Oh, yeah, because you'll just be out of coherency and then die.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the coherency rules are anymore.
So I was a bit like, fine, yeah, okay. Right, what colour should I do his hat? I'll do him a yellow hat as well. Why not, eh?
Yeah.
He's got a nice yellow hat on, he has.
Oh, it's lovely, that is.
Lovely, that is. I do enjoy doing the painting streams. They are mega chill. Don't get me wrong, I also enjoy getting my ass handed to me again and again playing Blood Bowl, but this at least I feel like I'm progressing, whereas Blood Bowl I feel like I'm never learning.
Yeah, I do. I do seem to beat you more often than not in the old Blood Bowl.
Oh man, I just had such a bad run against you the last time we played. Like, I tried so hard. I thought about plans. Running out of time on that first thing when I was so close to picking up the ball and then just making a mad dash to the touchdown. I was like, oh, well, this hasn't just, like, ruined this one chance. This is the entire play that has gone up in smoke.
Yeah, that was quite mean. And I was playing the Skinks, and they're just so good.
The whatchamacallit, the rules, we need to double check them every time we go into a match from now on, because I'm sick of that happening.
Yeah, because it always seems to absolutely get you every single time.
Yep.
Not me, because I just do my plays faster, because I'm just...
But I need to I need to think about mine. I'm just like, I don't know what I need to do.
I think it was over lockdown where I just basically played Blood Bowl 2 all the time. So I just got really used to just going, I'm going to do this, that, done. We're all done.
Bish, bash, and or bosh.
Exactly. So
right.
His garters are looking very brown now, so it's either that they're made of leather or he's pooed himself. So
both options are completely fine.
Really.
Yeah. Right, let's get him a nice apron. So they want a dirty brown one. I may do the old Gore Grunter trick on that. Where's all me nice paints? Eh, where are they gone? So we
I
need
don't know what to do with this guy's cape, though.
I'll have a look in a second. I'm just away from camera.
How dare you?
Looking for the painty paints. Cygor Brown, that's what we want. Gore Grunter Fur, that's what we want. And oh, I could do Gagrak Sewer. That's meant to be like a really dirty, grimy brown.
It is. It's very dark.
Okay, is it going to be too dark for a cape, do you reckon?
I would say it would be too dark for a cape, unless of course then you dry brush it up a little bit just to make it a bit
Gotcha.
lighter.
Is it what would the equivalent be in terms of a paint? Is it like a Rhinox brown?
No. So do you remember my Chaos Cultist, the Dark Commune?
Oh yeah, the colourful trousers.
I used it a lot on them.
Ah,
for
okay.
For a lot of their robes and stuff.
Fair one. Right.
Refreshing.
X, I am absolutely fine, my friend. I'm just having a nice, chill painting stream with my good boy, my best boy, Beanie. And then I'm going to go make a nice supper and maybe go for an evening walk as well. Because the weather does seem to have sorted itself out a little bit. Basically,
Yeah,
I'm trying to get
my walk in beforehand.
I'm trying to basically just get as much steps in as possible before I'm bedridden for a bit. Because I know that I'm going to go bloody stir crazy, so... Although I have also downloaded a load of stuff for my Oculus, my Meta. So I can still be in bed and just have a little look around at stuff.
Going outdoors, indoors.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reason I played World of Warcraft for so many years.
I can catch up on the Fallout thing as well.
Oh man, it's like I've seen like people have been a bit like meh with it. I actually think they've done a fantastic job with it so far. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but I think they've captured the feel of it so nicely.
Well, good. That's all I really wanted them to do anyway.
Yeah, and the story that they're telling is quite nice. I can see it getting more exciting. Yeah, I haven't really got any major complaints with what they're doing.
Well, that's always good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think people just need to
chill out.
Ooh, did that light help a bit? A bit, yeah, a little bit. Can't focus that well. But you could see him a little bit easier now.
Oh yeah, I see him. I see him.
I had a second light, which is right there. So I can't believe I didn't just think to turn that on an hour ago. But yeah, what colour do you think his cape should go?
You've got green skin or like Crooty olive skin, haven't you?
It's green. It's the Croot Ox that I've done the olive.
Oh yeah,
skin.
yeah. What about? Do you have? Because we want him to sort of remain stealthy, don't we? Or is he the leader? He is a leader, isn't he?
Yeah, he's more like a he's more like a captain. He's going to come forward. He's quite cool. I've made him more melee focused than ranged.
Well, if he's a captain and he's representing your Tau force, should he maybe have like a sort of dulled down version of their colours?
Yeah, it could do. Yeah,
because then it looks like it's like they've gifted him a cape of their logo and insignia and stuff.
The thing is that the cape is very clearly made out of some kind of animal skin.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
In fact, it's covered with the spines of a Croot Ox, which is concerning.
That is weird.
I follow a guy who's wearing my skin. It's like, screw you, man.
It's like,
Why'd you do that?
So you can trust me, boys. It's like, can we though?
That's Beryl, my mate.
Definitely seems like we can't trust this man.
We'll put a pin in it, and I'll do some metal on him now.
Yeah.
With another of the speed paint range, Enchanted Steel.
Ooh.
Very nice. Yes, it's got a good name. But yeah, I would like all the speed paint range now. I've bought so many of them.
Yeah, they're really, really useful.
Well, they come in dropper bottles as well, and as we all know, GW keep theirs not in dropper bottles, so your paints dry out. I just don't like that. I just think it's really mean. You know, it's the most expensive hobby going, really. Well, probably not actually. That's a lie.
Wasn't that on a painting phase thing where they discussed the dropper bottle versus regular bottle thing? And they were like, "Well, why do you think that they keep doing this?" It's like, "Oh, because they want to do this." Like, exactly. It's like, oh, sometimes it's not nice being right.
Yeah, it's as sinister as you think it is. They want to make you have to buy the same paint again because it's gone crusty around the rim, and no one likes a crusty rim.
No.
So, you know, you've really got to switch up to the dropper bottles. In fact, I've put nearly all of my GW paints into dropper bottles on my little stand. I spent
nice.
I printed out a little thing that can hold the bottle, and just then you can pour it in through the top and...
That's smart. That is literally smart as paint, lad.
I know. I'm finally... Long John Silver will finally see me. And now I want to watch The Muppets Treasure Island.
Classic.
Well, it's never a bad thing to want to watch that film. It's genuinely brilliant. Gonzo getting stretched and thinking he can have a career in the NBA.
He just thinks that it's amazing. He's like, that was really fun. What a weird little twist there, isn't it? That it's like they made him just love pain.
Yeah. Go on, do it. Yeah, Gonzo's fantastic. And Muppets Treasure Island is still in my top 10 films of all time. It's one of the best for me.
Oh, hands down, yeah.
And then Christmas Carol.
Oh man, every year without fail.
Yep, it's my Christmas Eve film I watch every single year is Christmas Carol, and anyone who tries to tell me that Elf is a better Christmas film is a liar. I do love Elf. I think it's great, but it doesn't have Kermit the Frog in it.
Yeah,
so how is it ever going to win? Yeah. If people don't know, I'm a real Muppet fanboy, so you can't win that battle.
Many have tried, all have failed.
That's right. Well, I just like Tim Henson. I just think the man created such a wonderful little world, and the fact that his puppets were kind of involved with Dark Crystal along with George Lucas and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And that the version of Dark Crystal they did a few years ago was genuinely terrifying, and I loved it.
Yeah, bringing the Skeksis back to life and making them as immediately unsettling as they were when we were kids was just like, that takes some skill to do, because I'm very jaded now.
Yeah, well, Mark Hamill did the voice of a bunch of them.
Stefan's here. How's it going, my friend? Oh, Quo, thank you so much. It's the same feeling that you have with Tim Henson that I have with Aardman. Just absolutely love their stuff. I really enjoyed the simple pleasure that was Chicken Run 2 as well. Just went into it.
I haven't seen it.
Just went into it just completely like no expectations. And yeah, it is a film for kids about claymation chickens. And I was just like, yeah, this is lovely. A lot of effort went into this.
Yeah.
Simple and fun.
Well, look how fun A Grand Day Out is with Wallace and Gromit. You know, they go to the moon, they meet the robot that takes like 10 pence pieces.
Oh yeah, back when they were like...
and the moon is made of cheese. That's all the film was really about. The little scene with the mice putting on the shades when there's the lawn. It's just a delightful little film, and nobody can take that away. And fun fact on that, my cousin may be working for Aardman when she finishes her degree.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, she's really, really talented with the whole stop motion kind of clay stuff. And that would be immense, because then I can tag along and, well, offer them a vial of my blood and go like, did you get my blood?
Because their studio is only like just down in Bristol, so it's not even that far away from us.
Yeah, that's the thing. She'd be able to commute or move over to Bristol if she wants to, live in Bristol. Which, it's very nice, just exceptionally expensive. You lived in Bristol for a fair few years, didn't you?
I was waiting for that. Yes, I did. I wouldn't personally go back, but that's only because of the fact that outside of a good food and music scene, the cost, the spiraling cost, and the amount of trust fund wankers that are there are, it's very off-putting.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
What do they call them again? Trustafarians.
Yeah.
Where basically you're rich enough to not care and talk about how poverty affects us all.
Yeah, we need a revolution, man. It's like, yeah, you could say that when your dad's a multi-millionaire investment banker.
Yeah, you've bought yourself out of poverty, and therefore you've decided that you can also buy a conscience for the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? There is one thing though where, like, as much as I dislike the type of person that generates, if they actually do good and actually do go to activist events and do actually help out and do that, I got no problem with them. Like, being rich ain't a crime, but being rich and pretending you're not is weird. It's just odd.
Yeah, I've always found that. It's like I was lucky enough to come from a reasonably well-off background. Like, we're not rich, but with my folks being doctors, we never struggled at all, even with three of us. But yeah, met some people who would always try to pretend like they weren't. It's like, hang on, I'm pretty sure your dad's the most successful real estate agent in the entire area.
Yeah, it's just odd, isn't it? It's just like, just own it at that sense. Like, I mean, you don't have to be a Tory wanker, but you can just be a bit more modest about it.
Yeah, just call me a povo, and it'll be fine, and I'll take it, and it's cool.
Throw a few pennies in my cup. You go your way, I go my way.
Yeah. Well, I worked with a lot of those kind of people when I used to work in the city. So, yeah. Ugh.
It was one of my most infuriating thing was hanging around people who were basically pretending to be struggling artists, and yet every single one of them had their, like, either music or art career funded for them, and they didn't actually have any real worries, but their brains couldn't accept that, so they made more worries for themselves. You're like, oh, come on, guys.
Like, really? With your folks paying your rent, you've got very little to worry about.
It's like that thing, isn't it? Like those TV shows like Made in Chelsea. They don't have anything to worry about, so they just create drama because they're starved of any sort of challenge.
Yeah. Oh, those shows. I'm glad that I've never been in a position that I was ever dating anyone that made me watch them. I was able to completely pass me by, and I can just continue watching Star Trek on repeat until I get bored of it. And newsflash, I never get bored of it, so it just continues.
So Kerry and I watch one episode of Star Trek before bed every single night, and I've been doing so now for months. We are on season 4, like episode 18, and The Next Generation has gotten so good. Like the episode that we just had, admittedly the acting will always be limited by its lowest quality member. Hello, Deanna Troi. But
she's so good and wears such a tight outfit for no particular reason.
Kerry even pointed out, she was just like, why is she the only one that gets to change her clothes? And I was like, because the male gaze demands it, apparently.
Yeah, it was the same as 7 of 9 in Voyager. It's like, why isn't she just wearing a regular uniform? And I know you can argue she was never a member of Starfleet, but she didn't need one, which was basically a skin suit.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's just, we've been watching that, and we had the episode, so 2 great episodes that stick out. One was the one where they go through the time bubble, and they lose a day, and they have to figure out why, and Data's basically lying to protect Captain Picard, because they don't want to go back to that area again, or else the aliens they encounter will destroy them. And the other one was where they all start going mad because none of them can sleep. And that has a really genuinely terrifying moment where old Bevy Crusher, she goes into the morgue and she's just like, yeah, I can't sleep and I'm hallucinating. This seems like the perfect time to do some experiments with dead bodies. And she just starts imagining them all sitting up, and like, it's like quite scary. Wow. And I was like, yeah. Oh, so I don't want to see this before bed. Like, come on, man.
I've just pooed myself.
Yeah.
I just did an episode of Voyager where they save a bunch of children from a Borg vessel and are rehabilitating them into humanity. And
amazing.
Well, yeah, because Seven of Nine was the first one they did that with, but then they find a bunch of other kids on this one vessel, and to be honest, they added a nice little dynamic to the ship, and it was nice. Although the episodes, the holodeck episodes in Voyager just are not as good as the other shows.
Now, if I am honest, anytime a holodeck episode comes up, I'm like, oh god, when is this going to end? Because it's almost like they were just like, we have one set, the 1940s, or Captain Picard's private dick fantasy that he wants, and it's just like, we're going to use this, boys. We've rented this space, so we're going to use it. It's like, I don't care. This has got so little to do with why I'm watching this show.
Yeah. Now, whereas some of the other shows do a tremendous job of making it work, just as a concept. Like I know I just ragged on the Voyager one, but it's just because they have a bunch of different ones they go to. But when they make it like this health spa, and there's an episode where this woman is projecting herself into their holodeck and making all the characters fall in love with her.
That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it's genuinely brilliant. And then they meet her, and she's like, "Don't look at me, I'm so ugly." And it's like, "No, you're not. You look slightly different to us. What are you tripping?" Okay, she wasn't the prettiest lady in the world, but again, it wasn't as big a deal as she made it out to be, I would say.
I also enjoy the fact that Captain Picard is just like a low-key silver fox in it, because it's like never, like, Riker tries his ass off to get with anyone that comes across his way, but Picard just doesn't even have to try, because it's like we had an episode with Vash, and it was just like she appears and she's like, "Oh, I've missed you so much." And he's like, "Oh, yes. God, how awkward it is. This hot Indiana Jones lady really is into me." She's just like, God, it's so troublesome being this sexually attractive.
And she comes back as a character in Deep Space Nine, Vash.
Yay. Do you know what?
And Deep Space Nine is the best one.
There have been a fair few single-use characters that I really hope do come back. And one of them, do you remember the collector guy who takes control of Data, and he like captures him and adds him to his collection and makes him sit on the chair?
You said add him to his collection, and now I can just only think of the Simpsons episode, "I am the collector. Now shall add you to my collection."
It basically is like that, and he's just like, "Dance for me, robot. Now sit for me, android." And Data's like, "I will not comply." And he's got like a really weird like mannerisms. He speaks in run-on sentences and gets really animated and then gets really quiet and then goes back to it again, and he was just fascinating to watch on screen. Much like the, do you remember the really nervous guy who's just constantly doubting himself and then eventually gets so jacked up on space steroids that he has an IQ that is like 1,000, and he plugs himself into the Enterprise's computer mainframe and starts controlling the Enterprise with his brain. It's fucking brilliant.
Do you know, I haven't watched The Next Generation since I was maybe about 10.
Oh man, I would recommend
Babylon 5 vastly better than DS9. Them's fighting words, but it is also a fantastic show, Babylon 5. If you haven't seen it, Jules, that is some
I actually haven't, you know.
That
hey,
is some
Robin.
top sci-fi.
Sam Sear saying, very apropos conversation, currently working on campaign content for the Star Trek Adventures RPG. Oh, amazing! Oh, that would be such a fun thing to play. No, I'm going to be the banger.
Yeah, no, I want to be the chief engineer who just shouts things at like beryllium over and over again, and then people have to listen to me.
We did have one of those like moments the other day when Kerry was like, "Why is he called Geordie?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, it's his name for a start, so I don't think he just got to pick it. But also, think about it. On the original one, you had Scotty, and what do you call people from the north? Geordies." And she was like, "Ah."
But it's not as good as we all know, the one from Futurama.
Scotty. Oh, Welshie, yeah. Welshie, no!
They just kill Welshie and keep zapping him.
You would have to play Welshie if you did a campaign run of this.
Yeah,
Welshie!
Yeah, absolutely. No! Yeah, I'd very much enjoy that because I could just speak with my own accent and it would work.
Nerdy Goth, yes. Lieutenant Barclay was the person I was thinking of who hooked himself up to the old Computertron.
Yeah, no, he actually has many episodes in Voyager, bud.
Oh, no way! Oh, good. I hope that he actually gets more confident because I do kind of like him, even though he is a jerk sometimes.
No, his character development within Voyager is proper extensive. Is really, really good. It's like little cameo of him, and they let him carry on for quite a bit. He's
Nice.
What you need to watch all of the Star Trek because Star Trek is king.
Oh, I'll be getting there.
But don't watch Discovery because.
Not the one, is it?
Oh, the first season was alright, and then it just went proper downhill. I just thought it was terrible myself, and I know a lot of people have really enjoyed it, but I just don't get it. I tried. I watched all of season 2, and I was like, I've just realised I've watched like 10 hours of television, and at no point did I enjoy myself.
Oh man.
Yeah. And that's not what you want. I've been told Brave New Worlds is fantastic, but I haven't seen it because I think you need Paramount or something to get it, and I can't afford all these different streaming services, frankly.
I know,
There's too many of them.
It is getting a bit crazy how much you need to spend per month to get all of them.
Well, this is the thing, and it was Steve Jobs that said that if you make it convenient for people to not pirate and affordable, people won't pirate. But it's gotten to that point now where it's like it's not convenient and it's too expensive, and then they wonder why people are going back to piracy. It's like because it's no longer just Netflix and one competitor. It's Netflix and the rainbow of competitors.
I wonder how much you'd actually have to spend per month if you wanted to watch all of the, like if you had HBO, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu.
Now TV.
Is Hulu now part of Disney Plus, or are they still separate?
I think they have their own separate streaming as well.
Ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
But yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's no longer convenient, and the fact that you have to go searching through each and every one of them to try and figure out which one's on which streaming service is frustrating. Like, I'm really, really glad the Fallout series is on Amazon Prime because I've got Amazon Prime for about another week.
Yeah.
So I can cane it in a week and just be like, yeah, it's done. Because I've realised that there's really no point in me having Amazon Prime because I order maybe 1 or 2 things from Amazon at a push a month.
Yeah, that's quite a big investment, to not use it.
Yeah, paying £10 a month to not use a service just seems a little bit bonkeroony to me.
And that could be going on protein for the gym boy.
That's right. Because you know how much I love protein powder and how deliciously awful it is.
You said, and I quote, "Smell these whey farts."
That's right. I definitely don't just boil eggs the second I get out of the gym and just eat mouthfuls of eggs.
Eggs for Bart.
Yeah. Well, you got to have at least 2 to 4 eggs a day.
Now, I'm worried about your gravy levels.
Oh man, I just wish I could have been in that room when someone pitched that idea. What about if we mention his gravy levels? He's just absolute genius. Ooh, right, where's the Gore-Grunker? Is it on the table?
Streaming services today are as bad as cable in the 90s and 2000s, and they are getting worse, yeah. 100% agree.
It is exactly that now. They're doing the exact same thing. And yes, Lawson, Garak is one of the greatest characters of all time. And were him and Dr. Bashir having a little saucy liaison? Yes, I definitely believe they were. Because he knew he wasn't going to get any from Jadzia. So he went to Garak, because Garak was sexy.
See, I have no idea who these are. Are these...
So Dr. Bashir is the doctor on Deep Space Nine, and Garak is a tailor, but he's definitely not just a tailor. He's like a secret agent and loads of other things, and he's a lover and a fighter and all these things. It's like, yeah, go Garak.
Wait, is he actually this, or is he just what the fans have said he is?
Well, I'm not going to spoil that for you.
Ah, okay.
You've got to watch it to see Garak in action.
I'm intrigued.
You should be. And if like me, you absolutely love Ferengis, Deep Space
I
Nine's
do.
the best because they are all over it, and the Ferengi episodes are some of my personal favourites. They are so funny, every episode with them in, except for the very, very controversial one now, which in the face of the trans movement is really in poor taste, and I had skipped over it the last time I watched Deep Space Nine.
Oh no, is it real bad?
Yeah, as a kid, it seemed fine. Now, as an adult with trans friends, it's like, yeah, I could see why this would cause upset and offense, and I just will skip it. I think that's for the best.
I think that they I like the fact that we're getting to that stage now where we just go, cool, right, this is it happened, let's learn from it, move on.
Yeah, and to be fair, overall, in terms of progressive issues, Star Trek has been at the leading forefront of a lot of them. The first interracial kiss in a TV show was in the original Star Trek, and there's like other bits and bobs like that, and they tackle really big issues that need to be discussed. So props to them on that. Yeah, they just had a bit of a swing and a miss with the whole getting Quark to dress up like a lady.
Oh no.
And pretend to be. Oh yes, and he puts on a voice and it's really bad, and yeah.
We
kind of like the Zoolander 2 thing.
Right, yeah. There was one bit that you had warned me about in the Next Generation that came up that was just super weird, and that was when Geordi falls in love effectively with the holodeck version of the main engineer of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
He makes a version of her, falls in love with her, and then gets annoyed that she doesn't love him back instantly the moment that he meets the real version, and it's like, oh, Geordi, no. This is really creepy, dude.
Yeah. It doesn't play so well, does it? On reflection, some of these things. But you know what? They tried. Yeah.
Let's just say that they tried.
Yeah.
Garrett getting his head kicked in by Klingons, bragging about his bones will heal, but his stinging insults will last a lifetime.
Oh yeah. He's like, I got in some excellent insults that will last a lifetime.
Amazing.
After he literally had like his lungs punctured.
Oh god.
After a beating. Yeah, he's such a good character. And he just develops throughout the series. And I would say that DS9 is the best of all of them, for me anyway.
It seems like that is what I'm hearing a lot, and I'm looking forward to going on to that. But I'm just loving the Next Generation. It's just it's that beautiful balance of just being very engaging. It's got like weird, silly elements. It's got some hard-hitting moments. And it's just an all-round fun time that I really did not appreciate as a kid because I thought that it was boring because it was requiring too much of my bloody brain power to focus on it. It wasn't immediately firing off lasers or having people transform into animals or animals into robots or robots into animals and then robots.
Yes, well, in fairness, that's a reasonable thing for a child to want from.
I mean, it was no badass Beetleborgs.
Yes, very, very true. And also, there's just a certain level of campiness to Star Trek that's just really endearing, and I love it, and I always will. Which is probably why I didn't like some of the more recent shows they've made of it, because they've tried to go to action hero instead of remembering what made Star Trek so wonderful.
So what was the deal with Picard? Why did that not do so well? Or because I know that some people really like it, but then others just bounced off it completely.
I thought season 1 was okay. I just really couldn't get into it. The ship that he was on, the crew he had, it was just like, and it was just trying to put the Federation in a bad light. And it's okay, and I actually think that's something that needed to be tackled by the show, but I just think that it felt more like an action show than a Star Trek show, and that just really didn't work for me.
Because I will admit, that's the thing that I do like the most about the Next Generation, is that they don't shy away from when the Federation is just like, they paint it as like a big utopia, amazing paradise in the first couple of seasons, but we're now starting to see like, well, this bureaucracy's really slowing us down here, like, getting resources is really quite hard out in the middle of nowhere. And, there's a lot of corruption going on in some places as well. Like, oh, okay, maybe it's not all cracked up to be this amazing be-all and end-all that we signed up for.
Oh yeah, no, and there's lots of moments in a lot of the Star Trek ones where the ideals get in the way of the actual practical solution to a problem, to the point of which it's actually a problem, like the Prime Directive, and sometimes it's like, yeah, but we actually have to help. If we don't, they're all going to die. And it's like, oh no, we must follow the Prime Directive. And it's like, well, now they're all dead. That
reminds me, it was quite funny when they go, oh yeah, Prime Directive, super important. Oh look, there's a weird alien species that no one has ever seen before. Oh, it's slightly attacked us, let's kill it. And it's just like, oh, right, okay, has anyone ever seen this alien species before? No. Right, so we killed the last one of its kind.
Yeah, it was coming right for us.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's not going to hold up in court, that, is it?
No, like kudos for trying, but that was not.
Immediately, Troy just goes like, "Captain, you did everything you could," and it's like, and we followed it exactly to the letter of what you should have done by Federation law, and he's just like, "Yeah, but we did just kill the last alien of its species. Like, we're quite lucky that it is now, very luckily, giving birth to another one. But okay, like."
Oh, yeah, we missed someone gave us a super chat.
Did we?
Count Poro,
mate.
pointing out that there used to be female space marines. Yes, and they got retconned, but the models themselves are deliciously derpy.
I haven't seen them actually.
Yeah, they were in I think they were in the Rogue Trader book. There's one where she's holding a sword, and she's wearing like white armor.
Oh,
and it was
cool.
a really little cool sculpt, but they didn't sell as they mention, and then they just immediately retconned it and said, no, this never happened. Don't look at these pictures.
Amazing. So the people getting annoyed over the female marines there are accepting one retcon but may not accept another.
Yeah, I think the difference is this time there wasn't like 100 books.
This is true. Yeah. I wonder if they actually just came out and just said, like, all of those books there, it was all a dream, and here's the real Horus Heresy, like the real deal. I reckon that people would still buy them hand over fist. They probably could, like, piss in your open wound at this point because we're so deep in the hobby, and it would just be like, I begrudgingly accept.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of how like I used to feel about Metallica back in the day. It's like they could literally just poo in some foil and say, this is our new hot album, and I'd have been like, okay.
As long as it sounds better than St. Anger, it doesn't.
Well,
okay.
Well, that was the album, Death Magnetic, and that was the day that I realised, okay, this statement only goes so far.
I remember when Death Magnetic came out, and all my friends were so excited for it because it had been a really long time since whatever came before it, and it was just like, right, okay, let's have a get together and have like an album listen. And I remember the first song, can't remember the name of it, but it did that classic thing. I was like, burp, 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 and I was like, oh, okay, I'm out, I'm fucking done. No.
Yeah, and the problem with that album as well is it just didn't have the solos.
Oh yeah, they crunched all of the solos, didn't they? They were just like, yeah, no, we're on a time limit. We can only do 7-minute songs, not 8-minute songs.
It's like, yeah, but you're Metallica. You're meant to do solos.
Yeah. I mean, imagine trying to follow up, like, Ride the Lightning, though, or Kill 'Em All. Like, it's just like, oh dear.
Oh, no, I get it, absolutely. And, like, Master of Puppets is still one of my favourite... like little songs, you know. Okay, it got overly played for that year when Stranger Things.
Oh, they did use it, didn't they? Yeah.
And they almost killed my love of it because I just heard it everywhere I went.
Yeah.
But you know, it's always nice to see people appreciating really good music. Kind of like that song by, was it Kate Hill or something?
Going up that. Going up that mulberry bush or whatever it was.
Kate Bush, something about a hill.
Yeah.
And it was like, I used to like this song, but they've played it so much now that I think I resent it. Yeah, I never thought I'd resent it, but there we are.
Yeah, as somebody on the autism spectrum, my all-time favourite episode of Next Gen is Tin Man. Tin Man. What happens in that? Tin Man.
I cannot remember, actually. Hang on. we've got access to the internet.
Yeah, I know. I can't use it at the moment because it's just out of reach.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm on it. Let's see. The Enterprise reaches out to an alien being while dancing around the Romulans who want to attack in an act of vengeance. Ooh, I do like the Romulans as well. And is a contact with a creature who has difficulty dealing with the vast knowledge Tin Man seems to hold.
Oh, I don't remember that episode. What season is it?
Let me find out for you.
It sounds vaguely familiar, like I have watched it.
Where does it say the season? Damn you! Oh, season 3, episode 20.
Okay, so it would have been fairly recently watched by us. I can't remember that for some reason.
You have to go back and rewatch it now.
Thing is, I know I'd know it immediately if I saw even a still from it. Because I have a photographic memory, but not a useful memory.
Useful. Yeah, no, I understand completely. Yeah, God, wouldn't it be amazing to have a photographic memory?
Oh, tell me about it, man. The amount of things that I would remember but choose to forget. Just to mess with people. I have a photographic memory. That did not happen. It's like, yes, I have a photographic memory. It didn't stop me from being a liar.
Yeah, you forget. I like to lie. Well, I just tried the first speed paint that I didn't like.
Oh no, which one was it?
I just don't like how it's come out.
Is it a bit gritty, a bit grainy, or...?
It just doesn't look very nice, so I'm going to cover it up with gold.
With gold!
Yes, thank you. The worst of the Austin Powers films.
I know, and yet probably the most enduring in my memory because it was the most recent one I watched.
Yeah, it'll always be the first one for me. It's one of those core memories of my childhood, being 8 years old and my auntie showing it to me and being like, "Now don't tell your parents." And then my parents came in and they're like, "We love this film." Yeah. So I will never forget watching that for the first time in Reading as a child.
Reading Festival, I imagine.
Well, I went to Reading Festival for the first time when I was 9 years old.
Oh, amazing.
Dad took me.
Oh, bless him, man.
Deftones, one of the headliners.
God
and
damn.
Jimmy Page and Robert Plant as well. And Blink-182 were there.
See, and they would have all been in their prime, so it would have actually been worth seeing them.
Yeah, no, I got to see some of the best bands of the day as a 9-year-old. It was amazing. Like, I was very lucky to have gone to that. Like, I haven't been to Reading since then, to be honest, but, yeah.
Leave it on a high, mate.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought, because the bands that play at Reading don't normally tickle my fancy these days, so...
Festivals in general, I'm just kind of over now. I'll go and see the bands that I actually want to see. And half the time, if you people are like, "Oh, these people are headlining this and that and the other, they're playing this such festival," I'm like, probably means they've got a tour going on as well at the same time, so I'll just catch it for a fraction of the price, thanks.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't have the patience for 3 days of camping anymore.
Oh, bless. Broadsword. Let's just re-up their membership. Been a member for 28 months. Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate that. You legend.
Yeah, that is pretty goddamn amazing. Thank you so much.
It's crazy to see how long people have been supporting the channel for.
Listening to our nonsense.
It does mean a lot. It really, really does.
Well, yeah, in fairness, we put a lot into this. We spend a lot of time editing and filming and stuff, so it's really nice to get the recognition from people. It's lovely.
One of those things where I've just always enjoyed going over for a battle, just because it's like, yeah, like it's a great way to start the week as well. Shake the cobwebs off, like, because the worst day of the week for work is Monday, because there's always just the stuff that's been piled left over from Friday. So you're just like, right, strap on the feed bag, get it all done, and then you can just go clock off, go have a game to unwind.
Yeah, well, I monitor one of the help desks on a Monday, and obviously you got the overspill from the weekend, so it's always rammed. It's like, oh no, it's time to get wading into the into all of the requests. And in fairness, they're normally pretty reasonable. You get the occasional one that isn't, but you do your best.
This reminds me of a wrestling podcast I listened to this week. They got bored of talking about wrestling and started talking about how awesome Gul Dukat is. Yeah.
Well, that is a topic that I could definitely wax lyrical about. He is one of the best villains ever. Like, he is amazing. The fact that... the problem is because Jules hasn't seen it. I can't talk too much because I want him to see it without spoiling anything.
People have, it's taken some people so long to realise that the way that I operate is that because my job is basically staying up to date with all the news for gaming stuff, I basically never play stuff in my own time, and I never watch stuff either. I just give up, but I don't mind spoilers. I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, the nature of the beast is I've already had it spoiled for me already. I'll get around to it eventually. I know I will.
Yeah, but DS9 was so long ago that you could pretty much easily avoid spoilers now.
True. That's where people start spamming spoilers in the chat.
It's like, haha, gutted. Yeah, you need to watch it. And I need to watch Next Generation again, because it's been many, 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 many years since I watched it.
You could do a watch party. We choose our favourite episodes and show them to each other. Yes,
the big problem with that with DS9, unlike a lot of the Star Trek series, it's very much each episode follow on.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah. It's more like a soap than it is because it's on a space station instead of being on a spaceship. So you get to know the regulars of like the bar and that kind of thing, and like, you know, they're running the operations day to day of a space station, not seeking out new life and doody-doody-dum, I'm the warrior prince, and all that kind of stuff. It's a very different vibe. For example, one of the spoilers I will give you is the way that Commander Sisko deals with Q. You know, you've got Picard who, like, is on trial, and they have all these lovely discussions. Same thing happens with Janeway. She nearly ends up like getting pregnant by him.
Oh, bloody hell.
Sisko deals with him by punching him in the face.
Amazing.
Decks an omnipotent, powerful god in the face. It's like, yes, Sisko, you absolute legend.
There was one moment in a recent episode where Q comes back and he's trying to like help. He's trying to help Picard because he owes him and he hates owing him anything. And Picard's just basically at one point she's like, "Oh, just go away, just go away, Q. You're really annoying." And he's just like, "Oh, okay, like, shut up, dude."
Oh yeah, but he tries to have a baby with Janeway.
Jesus Christ.
And it's a fantastic episode, and it's very, very, very silly.
I have to admit, I do like the sillier the episode. The sillier the episode, the more I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, Q is fantastic for that. He's one of the more daft characters, whilst also being really, really underlyingly sinister.
Yeah, like, the fact that he can do anything, and he's just kind of like, yeah, I'll let you say your piece, but just remember, I could kill you very quickly.
Yeah, like, if I wanted to, I could go back in time and make sure your race never even happened. You know, it's quite the threat.
It is kind of odd, though, that the I know that Star Trek has very little to do with the DC comic universe, but there's so much similarities between Q and, like, Mr. Mixelpick, or whatever he's called. Like, why is it that anyone who's got omnipotence and omnipresence in these sort of situations ends up being, like, a real goofball? Like, they're never, like, straight-laced people who can do this. They've always got to have, like, some weird, quirky attitude, haven't they? Or they dress funny, or just odd.
I think The Simpsons answered that wonderfully. Have you ever tried to go mad without power? It's boring and no one listens to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Tank
very
Scorpio,
much that
isn't
situation.
it?
Yeah. No, it's in the film.
Oh, is it?
With the head of the EPA.
Oh, Jason Bateman's character, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Like, you've gone mad with power. Of course I've gone mad with power. Have you ever tried to go mad without power? It's boring and no one listens to you. It's just one of my favorite. In fact, it's my favorite line of the entire film.
Oh, hello there, Hassan. How's it going, my friends? All good over here. Beanie and I are just chilling out, doing some painting, and it's going really, really well because I managed to get a fair few base coats down. I've got the fundamentals down, you would say, and that means that I can tidy all of them up and start adding in the highlights and the shades. And to be honest, I'm so glad that I get to do this with you guys and with Beanie to have a chat, because doing base coat stuff god damn, it takes the wind out of my sails.
Yeah, it can get a little bit dull, can't it?
Yeah, it
after
really
a while.
can.
Right, I think it's time for a bit of red. My favourite red.
Which one is it?
So it's the blood red from Speed Paint mixed with an entire thing of contrast medium and what else is in there? There's a couple of other bits and bobs in there, but I put it into this big old red bottle. And
Oh, you've made your own sort of blood mix, have you?
I
Or
did.
a red mix?
Yeah, and I use it for all my my Votan and other bits and bobs.
Smart plan, man.
Yeah, I do love contrast paints. Although I am definitely of the opinion that they aren't particularly beginner friendly.
No, I agree. I think you need to have an understanding of how to use them to get the most out of them. Like for me, I slapped a lot of them on straight out of the pot and just expected them to do all of the work for me. But it's very much about having a pre-shade. It's very much about building up a gradient, even going back over with multiple layers to use it as a glaze. And
yeah, exactly.
All it does is basically, when combined with the slap chop stuff, is just get that base coat stage looking a lot better than it would do normally, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if you spend a lot of time doing like pre-painting and like different colors underneath, you can get away with a lot. Which is my main goal is to try and just be a bit of a one and done with a lot of things, because as much as I do like painting, it's definitely not the bit of the hobby I love the most.
Yeah.
I like the rolling dice and then crying because I rolled all the ones.
I also just love the fact that you could just do this and leave it be, but if you elevate it with just like the slap chop plus method of just adding in one or two highlights and just taking some of the chalkiness or graininess out of the dry brushing by painting over a uniforming base coat color afterwards, it really does just like lift that model up even more.
Yeah,
it doesn't even take that much effort.
But again, back to it's not beginner friendly. If you go over the lines, it just doesn't work. You know, you then have to completely rebase it again and start again.
Yeah.
So you need a level of proficiency and accuracy to be able to actually do slap chop properly and use the contrast.
Agreed. The amount of times that I've thought that I was onto a winning combination, then hit a properly painted area with a bit of contrast, and it's just not. It's just stained, and I've been like, oh god, damn it.
Yeah, like I'm trying desperately not to do that because I'm adding red to his to the rope that's around his stave, and it's trying not to hit his fingers. And there's a giant wire in my eyesight, which is really helpful, I would say. You know, it's really making this a very easy process. I'm being incredibly sarcastic right now, but
yeah, I'm just going over it.
Your guy's coming along very nicely, so.
Ah, cheers, bud. So is yours. It's looking amazing.
I am so excited to play the Croot and just see them all suck and die, but I will love them. And I think I can get them to work. I got pretty good at Combat Tau, so...
Oh yeah, you made Combat Tau work for you in 9th, so I have full faith that you'll be able to do the same in 10th.
It's the biggest letdown of the codex, no Onager Gauntlet.
Yeah,
there is an Onager Gauntlet in there, it's just in the Crusade rules.
Oh, that's a bit rubbish.
And as me and you know, we are not cut out for Crusade.
Yeah, we had a fun time, but it just wasn't what we wanted from that sort of experience.
It was too much admin.
Too much admin, and unfortunately, it meant that if one player got a heads up and a leg over the competition and put points into just one character, they would end up steamrolling. Like every single time that we did orcs, it was like, because the war boss is the driving force of any orc army, got him to the into the battle. He kills some people. He takes his out of action test and usually passes it without having any battle scars. And after 2 battles, he's leveled up. Probably even leveled up in the first one if he kills like half the army, which was what happened to us. And the rewards that you can get for the Orc Crusade were crazy. They were like, oh, you can have the Killer Claw, but with no sort of minuses, and re-rolling all wounds, and he now re-rolls all charges. So you stick a war boss on a war bike, and it's just like, right, I'm going to absolutely steamroll in this scenario. Because the board size is so small, you can get over to them in turn 1 or 2. Chances are he can't be shot because back then it had lookout sir protection from like war bikes or whatever. And then boom, he's in the back lines, killing everything.
Yep, I didn't stand a chance against your orc list, and it just got very frustrating. It's like, well, there's actually nothing I can do about this. So,
it's just not fun. It's just not fun for either party because you're like, cool, I'm winning, but it doesn't feel good, and it's like, cool, I'm losing, and it feels bad.
Yeah, and then I would fail the out of action, and then I'd end up with battle scars, and then it'd be even worse.
I mean, they were funny as hell, some of them. You were just like, oh, for some reason, my transport now can't see, or something like that, and they're like, just like, alright, cool.
Yeah, so someone has smeared the screen with butter, and now I cannot see my way. Oh well. Ooh, talking of which, talking of butter, I'm quite hungry.
Yeah, we'll close down the stream in a minute, just because we've been for a fair while. I know,
yeah, it's 20 to 8.
It's flown by, brother. Flown by.
Yeah. Nice. Well done. We managed to talk mainly about Star Trek for the entirety of it, but you know.
Maybe next time that we do this, we'll come with a theme in mind so that we can always have like a conversationary topic to go back to.
Okay, but
I really
do like
enjoyed
talking
that.
about Star Trek.
Yeah, I did really enjoy that. Just adding in the final bits. Some purple straps to his little bullhorn. I might change that because I don't think the purple actually works that well, but as it stands, my mech is nearly battle ready. He just needs to have
battle ready? He looks fantastic.
Well, no, I mean, it just like there's still like uncoated bits on it, like his backpack and stuff like that. But as it stands, I'd be more than happy to have him on the table. And that's the best thing about these, is that you do a stream, paint up a model. If it's a character or like a leader or something like that, then it's great value for time because you get to chill out, have a nice time, and you get to put something on the table by the end of it.
Well, yeah, I just cannot wait to run these guys, and he's coming along. He's getting there. I'm quite happy with how he's coming along.
My next project, once I come back from the surgery, is that I've got 3 mini models to paint. So there's this tiny little grot with a radio that goes into the stomper tower, and then there's 2 very, very old grots that Kai Morgan found and gave me, and they are going to be painted up, and I'm going to stick them on the stomper somewhere as well, but they're old metal ones. They've got
classic.
Such cool character to them.
Well, they've always been able to do like tiny goblins well, haven't they? You know, you look at some of the old Blood Bowl team players, and they just looked amazing.
Yeah. Stuart O'Connor asks, as somebody who is new to painting Warhammer, can you repaint a model, or do you need to take the paint off first? Now, ideally you should take the paint off first. It depends on how thick it is, but a good way to get off the paint very quickly and easily is to use BioStrip. Basically just dunk the model in. Do make sure that it's not a resin model, because the resin does warp over time, but if you leave it in for about 20 minutes it should be about fine either way. And as Beanie was saying at the beginning of the stream, if you then use a electric toothbrush on the lowest setting, you'll be able to just scrape all of the gunk off of it, and it takes all the paint off back down to the plastic without harming it or warping it. If you do not have access to that and you do just want to get on painting a model and it's not too thick, my suggestion would be dry brush the model or spray paint the model very lightly black and start again, but you may lose a lot of detail doing it that way because it's probably at least 2 or 3 layers deep at that point.
And what I'd recommend as well, if you want to just save some money, and it definitely is plastic models, get yourself some methylated spirits from B&Q or some
they're super cheap.
Hardware store. It's like £1. Get yourself a plastic sealable container, drop the model in there, and then just give it a good scrub. It is another way to do it. I recommend wearing gloves as you do it, and it means you don't have to buy the quite expensive BioStrip. Even though if money's not an object, BioStrip is king. I would say, but yeah, I've done the methylated spirit a lot of times. Don't put resin models in meth spirit because it turns them to goopy blob monsters that become all loosey goosey.
That's no fun whatsoever.
No, it's not. Oh, everyone's being nice and saying goodbye.
Oh, bless. Right, okay, we're going to close down the stream now. It's been an absolute pleasure to stream for you all, and I hope that you all have a lovely evening, whatever you get up to, and a great rest of your week. I'm sure to keep you guys updated with how it goes with the surgery. I'll probably be more online than ever before because I won't be able to do anything else. So I'll probably see me online a lot over the next couple of days. But until then, we'll see you soon. Take it easy. Have a lovely week. Thank you very much for tuning in with us. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.